Tyler Goldstein, and I'm here with an esteemed panel, Will Tuttle from GameSpy, Arthur from IGN, and Greg Miller, PlayStation Editor Extraordinaire. And we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops today. Now, originally Nate Ahern gave the game an 8.5, and basically we're going to give our opinions having played through the single player and played a bunch of the multiplayer. So why don't we start off with maybe the single player experience, and Will, can you say, how would you compare this to Modern Warfare 2?
I actually liked it quite a bit. I wasn't really sure how they were going to handle the whole single protagonist, one single campaign the whole time, but it turned out really well. I really liked following the character. I liked seeing how he progressed through the story and kind of unlocking and seeing everything through his eyes. They had those little jumps here and there where you played as another character, but for the most part, I liked just playing as Mason.
Arthur, what do you think about single player?
I mean, it was definitely a marked improvement from the insultingly stupid Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I thought that it stumbled a little bit in the beginning, but it got a lot better in the back half. Basically, once it opened up and you were in bigger levels is when it really came into its own. And I think this is the first time that Treyarch has really pulled that off. Usually it feels like you're sort of going through a hedge maze with 3-foot-high hedges on either side of you. And in this one, they actually sort of bucked that a little bit and did pretty well.
You gonna make this a trifecta? Are you in love too, Greg Miller?
No, I got bored and stopped about halfway through. I'm the one who it didn't click for. I'm not a giant first-person shooter fan. And in the beginning, the blockbuster moments and stuff like that, I expected to kind of hook me more, especially when Nate was talking about how great the story was and stuff. And for me personally, I didn't find that. It was more just like the one where you start at the top of the hill and the armies are just swarming at you nonstop. And I didn't like that, they're always coming at you. They're always going to kill you. And you sit there forever trying to shoot them, and eventually you just have to run to the bottom of the hill.
Are we talking about Kaysan?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the worst mission ever designed.
It is the worst mission in a Call of Duty game ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like there was a couple sections in the game where it was just like, I have to advance to the next checkpoint or they're going to be on me at all times coming at me.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like mixed, where I had a lot more fun with it than with Modern Warfare 2, and I think part of it is just that Treyarch actually had fun with the story. I feel like, Infinity Ward actually tried to take itself too seriously with Modern Warfare 2, and so when it's over the top, it actually kind of makes it seem almost ridiculous, whereas it feels like Treyarch sort of embraced the fact that this was just going to be a ridiculous kind of game and an adventure, and to me, I had a lot of fun. I thought actually for me, it felt like it came right out of the gates really strong, and maybe it kind of went on a little bit too long.
Stumbles around Kaysan.
Yeah, stumbles around Kaysan and but and I think one of the problems, maybe we could talk about this, is are they stuck now too much in the conventions of what Call of Duty was? Because, Will, you mentioned that this is a, one person's perspective, but they do still hop, for some reason, to a couple of different perspectives, and it seems like they only do that because that's what you do in a Call of Duty game. Is it time for somebody to give up that ghost and kind of tell a different story?
I don't know that they'll ever totally abandon the Call of Duty formula. It seems like it's working pretty well.
I think that it's cool if the setting supports the multi-character thing, like the World War II games. It made sense because it was like, well, we have these different theaters and eventually they come together, and in Modern Warfare it made sense because you had the two teams and they eventually sort of connect. In this, it did sort of feel a little forced, like they felt like they had to break it up a little here and there.
And so, of course, Call of Duty is not just about single player. Multiplayer is a huge part of it. Greg, did you play much of the multiplayer?
Yeah, I played probably about 2 hours, leveled up a bit. That first night when everybody got it, I noticed, I was starting to putter out on the single player, and I noticed that New York had gotten it now. So I jumped on and played with them, and their excitement was like crazy palpable, you know what I mean? So that got me into it for a bit, and it was fun to do, but in the end, it reminded me a lot of what we've done before as far as perks and stuff and earning your stuff. But it still does have that, reward to it of leveling up and doing that and feeling like you're getting something done, the satisfaction of stabbing somebody in the back of the head.
Arthur, on the multiplayer, how about you?
I like that it doesn't feel quite as aggressively ramped up as Modern Warfare 2 felt. Like there was that constant, just sharp curve of escalation where everyone went up to helicopters and just destroyed the other team completely.
There are things that I like better. I would say that I think, first of all, the maps visually look way more interesting. Like, I love the jungle map.
All the stuff moving around and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think the maps are actually much better designed. I found Quarry in Modern Warfare 2 is one of the most annoying maps I've ever played in multiplayer, and there is no map like that I've come across in Black Ops where I just as soon as it comes up, I'm like, God, I don't want to play this. I just want to hide in a corner and not get sniped. So in that way, I think it's good. I think paying for stuff like having to work to get experience to unlock stuff and then having to pay for the stuff I just unlocked, I think is a little bit unfair and defeats the purpose of unlocking things to begin with.
See, I like that stuff. I like
actually
earning my
like it,
points and just spending it on exactly what I want, not just having a bunch of crap that I don't ever need. I'd rather save up my points.
It does sort of hurt,
awesome rifles.
possibly hurt the longevity of it though, if like you're just going to get all you want right away instead of having to slowly earn your way through
the first few days you have the exact loadout you want and you're not worried about it anymore.
So, we've talked about single player, we've talked about multiplayer, so let's like kind of wrap it all together. Will, if you can kind of give me your thoughts, like where do you kind of rank Black Ops among the other Call of Duties?
Among the other Call of Duties, I would say it's one of the best. I don't know if I liked it quite as much as the Modern Warfare games, although those were also kind of a reflection of when they came out and how awesome they were at the time. You know, in retrospect, maybe it's a little bit better, but I thought it was great. I mean, I thought Treyarch did a really good job. I think the series is in really good hands with those guys.
Arthur?
I mean, I just kind of wonder where they go from here. I am impressed with...
Space.
Right. I mean, but that's a different studio altogether, supposedly. But I think that Treyarch did the best Call of Duty game that they've ever done, and I think that the story is right up there with the best. I still feel like Call of Duty 2 and Modern Warfare are tied for #1 in my mind, but I am pleasantly surprised by Black Ops when I was pretty down on it originally.
And Greg, the hater?
What the hell do I know? I don't know. It felt like another Call of Duty game to me, so I'm sure in another year I'll play another Call of Duty game that I'll get halfway through and
It's
done
very much a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
So those are our opinions on Call of Duty Black Ops. We'd love to know what you thought of Black Ops, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section on this video.